up all my summer friends. Rise and shine, it's time to ride again. Each year we're more tired and gray. We should move on and let others take our place. Isn't it weird how the times change? Once knew it all, I don't know anything. Many come, but few will stay. Some lose heart and some are taken away. It's a real grind, but it's a pleasure to stay. A league of brothers that will never stray. Isn't it weird how the times change? Once knew it all, I don't know anything. Summer friends, put on your boots and let's ride again. Somebody needs to tell our story to these kids. They just don't know that there's a great life for them. My name is Zach Ciota, and this is the HVAC Fake News. Unfortunately, Goodman is upset with the HVAC fake news. Their lawyers have threatened to send a stop and desist letter, directly to yours truly here sitting in this chair. I finally did receive the letter, but unfortunately all of the ink, because it was sent from a Goodman lawyer, had leaked off of the page. Caladays Heating and Air out of Western Kentucky has tried to bring our lower income residents there a little bit of a high-end service. Caladays specializes in building performance and therefore tried to introduce the idea of blower door testing to people of various mobile home parks. Unfortunately, on the very first test, the blower door was set up, turned on, and the trailer imploded. In related news, MeasureQuick will now add a red flag every time you put a blower door in a trailer to let you know that that trailer is at risk of implosion. Young HVAC technicians throughout Florida have voted and chosen that Fieldpiece is the best digital gauge. Older technicians debated what features on the Fieldpiece caused them to choose it, and then they all realized it. Fieldpiece is the one that looks most like what they're familiar with, Fisher-Price toys. Emerson has gone to work on creating the very first 3D printed expansion valve. This revolutionary expansion valve takes about an hour and a half to print and can vary tonnage from 1.5 to 5 tons. Very, very impressive. Once the other half of Emerson at Copeland heard about this, they went to work on 3D printing an additive that would cause it to fail. Bosch is excited to release the brand new Bosch IDS 3.0 heat pump system. Hearing the customer's demands from previous systems, the new Bosch system is essentially a Bosch 2.0 system with a dehumidifier duct taped to the side of it. My name is Zach Ciota, and that was the HVAC Fake News. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Air Conditioners with Zach on Saturday night. It's good to have you back. All of you, I see guys over in the chat. I'm going to move the chat over so it doesn't look like I'm looking off in the distance. Let me see if I can do that. We'll use our new chat feature. Bam. There we go. So we have Joshua Seaton. Said he had a question, but he figured it out. Good deal. HVAC Tech Wannabe. I love your name. That's exactly what I was. Joshua says, Goodman is just fine. I installed them for years. Maybe those were different Goodmans. I don't know. I guess Goodman might make a whole different line, a secret line that works better. KW Carver, always hilarious. Thank you, Carver. I appreciate it. We try to have a good time here. Why not? Life is short, bro. Let me move the chat back a little bit. We'll see where we started here. So we have KW Carver, HVAC, looking forward to the talk. Hey, man, we're glad. We're looking forward to talking. Ryan says, I like Tad's channel and his perspective. Very nice. Thank you, Ryan. Rodzilla408 says, nice, something to watch while he drives around. Hey, great. Steve is back. HVAC Residential Basics. Fantastic. Steve, I missed you, man. I missed you. Ronald Sharon, hello, everybody. Chris Forsyth, Santa, who was on the show last time. Yes, we had a good time last time. We had a really good time. He's a home warranty technician, guys, so go ahead in the chat and lambast him. And we're back where we started. Okay, so let's see. What else? We have My HVAC Life. That's right. Hey, guess where I ate at yesterday? My HVAC Life. It was a little barbecue place in a gas station. I think you know what I'm talking about. Michael Wright, what's up to you two? Cannon Casey, have you tested lawnmowers? You need a new one. What are you talking about, Cannon Casey? I have a perfectly good lawnmower I fixed the other day. It's on the internet somewhere. I fixed it. Just like I would fix, the barbecue lab. Thank you. That's exactly where I was. It was really good, too. I had a sandwich right before it closed, too. It was still good. Nothing had been sitting on the rack for a while. And let's see. Joshua Seaton said, I did rebadged Amanas, and the customers never knew. Uh-oh. Rebadged Amanas. I remember Amana did have a machine that it was Goodman had GSZ, Amana would have ASZ, but there was one that looked just like a Goodman, but it was Amana, because the other Amanas, they look a little different than Goodman, but this one looked exactly the same. I don't know if it was ASZ or what. I think it was ASZ. I don't remember, so I should never have started that conversation, and I apologize. I think that's everybody here in the chat. We'll leave the chat up for just a second. So I'm going to show you guys. We have a lot of great things happening tonight. Tad's here. Tad, his name, his channel name is Taddy Digest, but his name is Tad. I don't know what the digest part's about. I imagine like Reader's Digest. About to ask him that. I was thinking about, is it like Reader's Digest where it's a whole bunch of information together? I'm not sure. I didn't even ask him that in the preliminary. I probably should have. That would have been good. But he can deal out that factoid later. And we don't only have Tad, guys. We have Skilled Trade Up later in the show. Skilled Trade Up, of course, for those of you who may not know, is an HVAC game show, because that's the kind of people we are. We play game shows where I ask you questions. And here's what you got to do. To be on this game show, you have to actually come onto the screen with me. I will give you the link. You will come on the screen with me, and we will test your HVAC knowledge. Every time you get something right, you get a better prize. But each time you get a prize, you got to risk it to go to the next level. Yeah, it's really nice. There's a lot of levels, just like Scientology. There's a lot of levels to get to the top, and no one understands it completely. We got some great prizes, though, unlike Scientology. We have, let me see if I can bring them up on the screen here so you guys can properly understand what I'm talking about here. All right, our first prize tonight, as a bug flies by my mouth. Hey, it's a shop, guys. What do you expect? There's probably a snake in here somewhere. The level 1 prize will be the awesome and not very expensive magnetic parts holder from our friends at Harbor Freight. That's right. You recognize some Harbor Freight. I love Harbor Freight. I don't care what anyone says. It's the best. Second prize, Icon Pliers Wrench. This thing is sweet. Okay, this thing is a really, really nice tool. So if you get that second question right, you get the Icon Pliers Wrench. Keep on going. Third question right, you can trade up to an AWP backpack tool bag. Very cool. Very cool. And number 4, we're working our way up to the top. It's going to be 5 tonight. 5 prizes. Number 4 is the Doyle tubing bender. Guys, it's pretty good. Later in the show, I'll have a video about this tubing bender. I did take a look at it and kind of run through like a review type deal. It was really not a complete review because obviously you want to come back like a year later and say how it's going, but I'll be giving it away. So I just did like an initial look at it, stuff like that, but that'll be later in the show. And if you make it all the way to number 5, you can trade up and get a combustion analyzer. Will somebody please win this combustion analyzer with a printer? It has a printer, guys. You can print out the report. Ronald says, LOL Harbor Freight. LOL to you, Ronald, because Harbor Freight is a fantastic store. And some of this stuff is legit now. I think some people like Icon hand tools. They're pretty good, man. They're pretty good. I'm just saying. So, level 5. See, if you don't like Harbor Freight, just get the level 5. You got Yellow Jacket right there. See if I need to remind you guys anything. Yes, if you enjoy the show, please leave a like. That tells YouTube that this show doesn't suck. And if you think it sucks, just keep it to yourself. All right? I don't want to hear about it. We're going to have a good time tonight. In fact, we could probably get along with it here. Let's see. What else do I have here to tell you people? Probably nothing. Oh, yeah. You guys like my iManifold? Does anybody see the iManifold I have in the back right there? The original iManifold? If you know what that is, you can put it in the chat. I should have lit it up a little bit better. Maybe I'll get out of the way. Hold on. Right there. Tell me what it is. Put it in the chat if you know what that is. You old farts ought to know what it is. And I told you about the prizes. Told you about Tad. If you like the channel too, you can become a member. Hit that join button down there. Become a member. Help me buy groceries. That's what I need more than anything. I need groceries, guys. Doritos are expensive now. Okay. Let's see. Ronald says he has one of them. Ronald must have been around for a while. Yeah. And Steve prefers the bargain bin at Ace Hardware, which I bought stuff out of, but there's some stinkers in there, Steve. There's some real stinkers. All right. I'm going to take a break. After this break, we're going to bring in Tad. And hey, look, Eddie comes in right there at the minute. Tad has a good channel. Fantastic. Okay. Yeah, I think Ted probably has a couple of these things. These aren't Bluetooth either, so the young guys don't want them. They're not Wi-Fi. There's no mesh network, you know? So no one wants those. KW says a moonshine recovery machine. Man, we could probably work it in there somehow. All right, guys, I'll be back right after these messages from Kellogg's Cornflakes. Beckett is someone you can trust for condensate removal products. If you need something for everyday jobs, maybe you can choose the BK17 condensate removal pump with safety switch, but maybe you need something a little different. Maybe you like to install those mini splits. You know you guys love them. Well, they have mini split pumps as well. They carry low profile condensate pumps when you just don't have the height room for a larger pump. And when you think you're hot stuff, so to speak, or at least your condensate is, they have pumps for that as well. Find out more at BeckettUS.com. Field Pulse is the #1 FSM platform for its ease of use, ease of setup, and quality of support. And what's more, they have a brand new promotion. Anybody who signs up by April 30th gets 3 months for free. Make sure when you take advantage of this particular program, you go to our link and use it. So go to the description and use it. That way the Field Pulse guys know it came from this channel. And anytime you guys want to check out any of the sponsors, you can go to the description of this video to find out more. Podcast guys, same thing. Go to the description, find out more, support this channel by supporting our sponsors. When it comes time to buy your HVAC tools, most of them are available at TrueTechTools.com. And if you use our Shop Talk discount code, you can save 8% off your order. And if you don't use our code, you're basically stealing food from my children's mouth. Shop Talk is the discount code. Use it. Our sponsor, NAVAC, has a new promotion called the NAVAC 2023 Gauge Up Promotion. If you purchase one of their qualifying power tools, including the NEF 6LM flaring tool, the NTE 11L expander, or the NTB 7L tubing bender, you can get the N2 A4 manifold for free. Visit navacglobal.com for more information. Alrighty, everybody. So without further ado, I'm going to welcome to the show, without further ado, as my cursor gets across the screen and I click it right now. Well, that's nice.
I wrote a song, Zach.
That's nice. Go ahead and play it, man.
I wrote it in the last 10 seconds while I was waiting. It goes, Zach.
That's nice.
Thank you for having me on the podcast.
Oh, you really belong here.
That's awesome, man. Thanks for having me. This is great.
Tad, I'm really glad you could make it today, Tad. There you go.
Oh, yes. All right, guys.
And,
Hope you enjoyed the show. Have a good night.
And the rest of the time, we're gonna jam.
Yeah.
I never did. I don't think I got an answer from you. What music do you like to play?
Blues and folk.
Blues and folk, like
yeah, rock
Peter,
and
Paul,
roll,
and Mary.
rock and roll. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That sounds right up my alley, man.
Really? Where have all the flowers gone? We can knock it out.
I like bluegrass too.
Man, okay. He's from Tennessee, everybody. So everybody's like, oh, okay, we get it. So that's not folk music. Give me some examples. Okay.
I like all music really, but I mean, when I say folk, it's just when I play, that's kind of what comes out. But I mean, I don't really have any good examples because I don't listen to music too much. My latest artist that I listen to is probably Joe Bonamassa. I go to see him at the Ryman, if you know who that is, does blues music.
I have no idea who that is.
Johnny Lang, Joe Bonamassa, Buddy Guy.
Buddy Guy, yeah, Buddy Guy. I got.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I got to go a little further back. Apparently, you got.
Yeah, I guess so. I got 1 out of 3. I'm glad I got 1. It could have been real bad.
It could have, man. This is the first start of this podcast. It was just awkward. We just stared at each other the rest of the time.
There'll be plenty of those moments in the podcast. I mean, so don't worry about it.
I don't think so, Zach. I don't think that's how this is going to go. Listen, I just want to start off by saying I'm worried about those people in the mobile home, that implosion thing.
That's a legitimate problem, and I think I'm glad that Bergman has gotten Measure Quick to add that red flag, because I don't even know how they can afford that if I don't know, blower door testing is expensive. And I've been in a lot of, I don't know about you, but legit, I've been in a lot of trailers doing service over the years, and I kind of like it. I like the way it's set up a lot of times, but man, a blower door would be wasting time.
I love that huge 4x12 duct that runs, underneath the underpinning there. I like it's a huge duct, 4x12, and it's made out of that great aluminum metal, that the rats can't chew through. So it's really nice.
Well, I'll tell you what, say what you may about it, but it's the only duct you can cut with scissors, which I appreciate. You can make a new hole real easy. I
was checking airflow the other day, and I set my anemometer down, and I turned on the unit, and it blew my anemometer out the window.
You know what? That's so funny. We didn't even talk about like trailer fixing. This is how this show is too. None of the stuff we talked about before would even come up. And I remember, you'll be sitting there at this trailer and it's downflow every time. I mean, I can't remember when it wasn't downflow unless it was some kind of weird configuration somebody did on their own. And you'd have that one outlet that's like 4 foot away in the kitchen and a single wide, and that thing will come on, and it almost lift off the floor because like 50% of the airflow, goes into that one outlet. It's a 4x8 too, so the velocity is high.
Oh yeah,
I love it.
And the manufacturer's such a genius that they decided, you know what, we're going to put sequencers in, and they're all going to burn up, and then we're going to add these expensive motors, and the new units you get, like you'll get a 70,000 BTU gas furnace, like for a change out, and you get the furnace in, and when you put it in and you turn it on, the customer goes, "Can you turn the fan down? Why is it so loud?" It's like you lower it all the way down, and then you can't get the correct pressures. It's like,
it's a catch-22. Yeah, because you put the stuff in there, and it's like, well, this one's loud. I said, well, I'm trying to get to 400 CFM per ton, ma'am. It's like, well, where are you at? 275. And I'm doing my best. 270. Maybe we need to add some outlets. Yeah, maybe the manufacturer needs to figure their stuff out because it don't work. And then, well, there's a whole line of stuff with that, like the package units people put on. It's like, I'll put this package unit on. It's 3 tons. The 1 10-inch supply. I'll tap into that one run. Everything's going to be beautiful.
Oh yeah, done a lot of those, man. And what we usually do is we take the crossover pipe loose, then we take and run a duct in supply, and then we tee it, and then we take and see if it's a double wide, you have 2 different ducts. What we do is we do 2 supplies on the first trunk and then 2 supplies on the next trunk. You can't do over 12-inch because the duct's not bigger than 12-inch, so you can't put a bigger round pipe than 12 on there. So but we usually do 4 supplies.
I think that's the times we actually put a package unit on in an install manner, which would have been long. It wouldn't even been me. I used to work for my father as well before I started my company in 2009. And as I recall, it was a lot like what you said. You have a package unit out there and you tap into it. He would tap into it in like 4 locations. He would go to different locations and tap into it. And it's about the only way that you could make the airflow and static pressure somewhat normal.
Yeah.
And I don't even know that it was normal then.
Yeah, and balance so that, you don't have the same effect as that. What you just talked about, the vent closest to the furnace is blowing the hardest, the vent on the ends blowing nothing.
Yeah.
So yeah. Hmm.
And then there's the return, which is a whole nother story. You're going to make a
Yeah.
giant filter that's slanted in the floor that has like dirt clods on it from like people walking
No,
across the grate. It's great.
no.
Dog hairs.
Take that furnace out, you make that the box there, and then above it, they can have a nice shelf.
Yeah, that's nice.
Go with
That's good
us.
planning.
You'll have a shelf.
I would hire y'all, actually, now that I hear it.
Thank you.
All right, so we just had that great conversation right there. And most of these people, I would think, probably are familiar with you. But why don't you do what I like to call the 2-minute introduction?
Okay.
Go.
My name is Tad, and I'm a licensed general mechanical contractor and licensed electrician in the state of Camden, Tennessee here. If you want to know like the whole story, I've got a live video that I did. Just search on my playlist and go to live, and then it says my journey. And please don't be too hard on me because I do cry and shed a tear in the end of the video. But
is that legit? Do you really cry in this video?
yeah, in my HVAC journey, yeah, absolutely, man. I got a little emotional just talking about, the best thing you can do is move and just keep going. And I like to be motivational because I believe that well, we don't need to get to that, but anyways.
No, you go ahead. I'm gonna search for this video so I can put it in the chat.
Oh yeah, for sure.
How
Yeah,
old is the video? Give me a little bit of idea.
Ooh.
Was it live? Did you say live?
It was in my live videos. Yeah, it was a live video. I was driving. I was on the wrong side of the road. I hit a couple mailboxes and I cried. No, I'm just kidding. No, I was just talking.
Oh, I got it.
Okay. Oh man, how'd you get it that fast?
You gave me a lot of good information.
Are you logged into my channel?
Yes, because I was getting those clips, which I have for later in the show. So I was still logged into it.
You did something illegal. You stole my content.
It's content stealing. Yes, that's correct.
Oh, okay. Well, good deal. You can play guitar, so it's okay.
Everything you said is right so far. But all right, so you're from Tennessee. You had this great video where there's weeping at the end. Pick up right there.
So I just talk a lot about, my journey and it, how it's, my dad started a company in 1985 and he was working on appliances and fixing microwaves and doing things and, never really graduated high school, never told me until I graduated. I don't know why, I guess because he knew I'd quit school too and just start working, which I regret. I like the fact that I built good relationships and have friends, but, I realized that, the experience that I have now is what built me. And that's the reason I can help other people. But having this opportunity to work my ass off is just created this just this person that can relay information and has all this just experience. It's been wonderful, but it's been tough. It's been a lot of work, and I'm my worst enemy. And everybody that's watching, you're your worst enemy. You're the one that's the hardest on yourself, but you're the one that will take yourself where you need to go, and no one will work harder for you than you will. But I put in 10 years in a service van. I got out in the truck, tried to do, just estimates, but it never really worked. I do estimates, I do service, and I do install. Still to this day, started in 2003 part-time, joined the company full-time in 2008, and put in 10 years in a service van. And I worked a lot and I enjoyed it and I still enjoy it. I work, sometimes 6 days, 7 days a week, just because I enjoy it and I know it's taking me somewhere that's really nice. I've started companies and I've lost, money and made tons of mistakes. And, it's been a good journey so far, man. I've been able to help a lot of people and, yeah, so I don't know where to go with this, Zach. Tell me more.
Here, I will assist you. So it sounds like that you are a guy that uses negatives as learning experiences, doesn't bog down with them.
No.
Not familiar? Okay.
Oh, absolutely.
So if that's the case, I mean, that's a good way to be. And that's because every failure that you have can then be appreciated for an experience that will be used later, as opposed to someone who every time they fail, is wall punchers and stuff like that. Yeah. Wall punching group. That's a group. I used to go 10 rounds with a wall sometimes. I got pretty angry, but that's great that you can do that. So here's a question. you graduate high school, your dad says, I didn't graduate. And you realize that, yes, you probably would have said, well, I'm out of here too. When you have customers that are, everybody has them, they're engineers, they're doctors and stuff like that. Is there any disconnect there? Are you able to communicate with them just as well as you communicate with anybody else? Because I went to college for a little while, but I dropped
Yeah.
out. So I'm just like you, high school graduate.
Yeah. So these are the people that maybe watch you more. And I love that. I don't like to be alone when I'm at the job. I like to be with the customer, and if the customer's right behind me, I'll scoot over and go, hey, let me explain to you what I'm doing, and talk to them. And I do that because I want them to know that I'm the man and I'm taking care of them. If I always ask, do you have any questions? Like, I'm all up in the business, like explaining everything. I like it. It's the communication part, and me being involved in thousands of jobs is what's created the communication factor that I have, that talent. So I don't have any issues with that. Typically they'll do research and think they need something like a geothermal unit, and that's one example I can give you. And then we will have a a conversation about it, and there's factors they don't know. But I'm all about informing. I'm all about it, and I will definitely try to steer you in the right direction, and make you understand that I'm here. That's one of the biggest keys to having the customer treat you like a good human being, is showing them that you care more than they do. I'm all about that, and I've got a sales training video where I talk about that. And that's the key, man. It's like, what do we got going on, and this and that, and then making it your concern. I've been upset for the customer. Have you ever been upset for a customer? You're like, man, dude, this didn't work out this way. They wanted to go with a compressor, they shouldn't have. Something happens a year into it, a year after. You ever had that experience?
What I'm thinking about here is, I just think you're a passionate guy, because you're empathetic to the customers. Obviously, you're a friend of emotion. According to you. No, I mean, but that's a good thing. I mean, passionate is a good thing. I mean, overdoing it, that's bad. I mean, as far as, my brother is just horrible. I just don't even talk to him. But having that empathy is a good thing. I don't think everybody has that. I'm more reserved. I don't have that empathy. I do have empathy, but I'd be like, I want to fix this machine. For me, it was like me and the machine, and the customer was also there. I wanted to fix. I like working on stuff and figuring stuff out, and then the customer wants to watch. That's fine. That's what I always tell him. I would turn around and say, "Only reason I wouldn't like this if I was doing stuff wrong."
Yeah.
But I mean, I do believe that, and they don't want to hold the camera, but that's the only bad part about it. But like, hold the camera so I can do this.
I'll tell you a funny story. So, because I got lots of these, actually. I got some horror stories, I got some funny stories, but this is a funny story, and I've done this twice, and I can still remember this because it's just funny. EPA, hope you're not watching. The package units that Carrier made, that you had a flat top, and the whole entire top came off, and there was no fan connected to it because the fan was side discharge, and it was the older Carriers. Okay. You remember they had the little short service access port, and it was just soldered on with a little bit of that silver alloy metal. Anyways,
gosh, I don't remember the port, but I definitely know the unit you're talking about, because I remember working on BDP versions of these, and I would walk up, because I like wrestling, and go, it's me, it's BDP, every time I walked up to it. Nice. But the customer would be like, what are you doing? I was like, just leave us alone.
So I had a customer behind me one time, and I screwed on my gauge and broke off the port and blew all the
that's funny. Yeah. What did he or she say?
Oh, dude, it was just like quiet. It was silence. It was just like,
because it's loud. It's loud when I've done that a couple of times. The customer was not there, but I've blown that port off, or had like the VCRT tool, thought I had it done correctly, and I hadn't. It was like, and that Schrader's still traveling somewhere, and it was loud. Yeah, it was in the atmosphere. I was like, well, we're letting this charge go. No, nothing to say about it.
Yeah.
But that was bad. It was 3 pounds though. Thank goodness it was an old unit and only took 3 pounds. I was like, no, that's not as bad.
There you go.
But
yeah, you needed 6. You needed 6 pounds. Not
yeah. Well, 3's missing now. That's all I can say. We're gonna charge this thing from scratch, just like a mini split. That's how we're gonna do it. We're gonna take a mini split on it.
There we go.
That's just so
So what
funny.
do you think about mini splits? I don't want to get us off if we're
Oh
supposed
no
to
no
talk
no no!
about
Hey,
something.
the show is nothing but a
Okay.
bunch of zigzaggy paths where people go, "How did we do this?" And there's no answer. But mini splits, I haven't had a tremendous amount of faith in mini splits over my career
Mm.
because I've seen that their longevity doesn't seem as long. But
Mm.
having said that, I did watch videos where you were working on mini splits, and I'm guessing you must have installed them probably as
Oh, dude,
well.
yeah. Installed my first one in 2009, and
Mm-hmm.
Benton County Electric System, our electric, you know, company, they gave TVA, which is the energy company, they gave Benton County 5 of those whole house Mitsubishi systems for free, and they put CTs on the breaker boxes to measure the current draw for 1 year to do a pilot program. So we
Mm-hmm.
got to install 5 of those whole house systems for free. I remember my first system, I wired the boards incorrectly. Polarity was sensitive and blew up the first boards. So it was really nice. Still
Ooh.
remember that. I remember all my mistakes, which is nice. Um, so, but yeah,
Hey,
it was,
those are learning blocks, my friend. Remember, you're a positive guy.
yeah, man. So, um, yeah, so I got my first frill with that. Then I got heavy into them. We installed so many of them. I'm installing, some in a restaurant next week, but I've installed so many lately. I've done some nice videos on that, like mini split projects, which you can check out. I put 9 in this cabin like 3 weeks ago and took out 2 package heat pumps. That was really cool. Um, but I love
Wow.
them, but they've come a long way. And there's companies that are innovating and they're, making it better protection for the components inside where they have better voltage rating. They can go up higher and lower, and or they have a constant voltage going to the motors instead of having it spike up and down. So they're putting, there's companies that are doing good things, and then there's companies that aren't innovating where they have, like leaking indoor coils or bad inverter
Yeah.
boards. Now you can say, hey, you need surge protection or you need voltage monitoring or this and that. That's true, but still there's some companies that just suck, and there's some companies that are doing a lot of better things, making them user friendly,
Well,
innovating.
what did you put with them? Did you put surge protectors on every single one that you install? I mean, what is
No.
your system? What do you add to it?
So like I'm doing a video here in about a week and it's on a ICM 493. It's really nice. It does voltage monitoring and it has surge protection as well. So it's like all in one, really cool product, which I'm fixing to do. And I'm going to start hopefully, installing those, but I didn't install surge protectors for a long time. Didn't have them in stock or nothing, and man, that was a learning experience because inverter boards,
Yeah,
compressors.
that's
And
amazing. You got the 493, and I installed 492s, which were voltage monitors, but they weren't surge protectors. So I guess that is the addition to the
Mhm.
series would have been a surge protector. Oh man, that's nice. I love ICM stuff. I really
Oh,
do.
dude, me too. In fact, I installed my first one probably, 4 or 5 years ago, and it was for server rooms. Um, and I've actually got a lady. This is a cool little thing to throw out. I went to a service call. I hope you're not watching, but if you are, I'm going to help you. I went
That
to
would
her
be
house.
unlikely,
Yeah,
probably.
yeah, you're
Yeah.
probably right. I went to her house. She said the unit was freezing up. We put the trailer unit in last year. I went. Pressures are great. She puts it on 59 at night and 65 during the day on cooling.
59?
So I'm going to put one of those ICM controllers on there, those head pressure controls. That way it'll, you can run it down still, but your fan's going to die.
That's wild. Oh, what
Yeah,
was it?
59 at night.
That's insane. Now, you added a head pressure control like what, like the 325,
That's
something like
correct. The
that.
325, man.
Wow, that makes me look really smart. That's the one I remember. But
Bro, that was
well,
so
that
smart.
one, and there's a 308 free stat. I remember that. Do you
Yep.
add free stats to them too?
Dude, no, freestat's about a bad idea, really. Because I mean, what are
Well,
you
why not?
doing?
Why would you not with her running it down so low? This would be a good conversation.
Because if you're just shutting the compressor off and that's how your control operates,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want that to be the way I operate the system. I just shut the compressor off and then wait till it equalizes because then it'll turn right back on unless you have a delay built in. If you had a delay built in, then great. But if you
I would
don't,
want
then
a delay for sure.
oh,
I would
would
have a
you?
delay. Even with the ones that I used to use, which didn't have a delay, I would add a delay because I didn't want to click, 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 click all the time. Or I would shut the power off to the stat, where the
Mhm.
stat delay would trigger.
Oh, that's a
something
great
like that.
idea. Yeah, yeah, that's a good
Like break
idea.
red instead
Yeah.
to the stat.
That way your customer's pissed off sitting there punching the thermostat.
Yeah, it's still on. Yeah, batteries are
Yeah.
great, but it's not doing
Yeah.
anything. Yeah, well, I don't know. With 59 degrees, you got to figure if the
Yeah.
coil is like 30, 35 degrees colder, that's well below freezing.
Oh,
But
it's
I
going to be a
also
lot
figure,
lower than 30.
yeah, so it's got to get a little frost on it, if not heavily frosted.
Oh yeah, below anything below 66, I'm pretty sure you're going to be in the freezing range.
It's the danger. Yeah, it's danger. 66. If it's a Delta 35, that puts it right at 31. So yeah,
Hmm.
that would be right there. That
Yep.
would be the danger zone.
And that's what I told
But
her. I said anything you turn it below 66, it's going to freeze up, especially when you're dropping temperature at night outside. I mean, so I told her I could do that, and she was like, "Okay, cool, sounds great."
so yeah, well, at least it's good. Yeah, to have the head pressure up is gonna help it too. That's wild to have all that stuff. And you said it was a trailer.
Yeah, trailer AC.
That's wild.
Hmm.
Trailer AC's
59
got all these
degrees.
controls on it.
Oh yeah, man, we're souping them up. We're
Yeah.
souping them
Well,
up.
they need an economizer. That's what they
Yeah,
needed on
man, they
theirs.
need free cooling.
Yeah.
We'll stick a duck in their window.
Yeah, that's about right. That's so funny. Hey, people are funny, man. I've never heard of anyone doing 59, but we all the time had elderly people that would leave their heat on 80.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, it's a heat pump. So, I mean, it's okay. It's going to run a little higher pressure, but it ought to be able to
Hmm.
handle it till that filter also gets dirty. And then I had a
Hmm.
few trigger head pressure controls and then lock out because they were Linux, I guess, at that time. I didn't put them
Linux.
in. I didn't put them in. Linux, like if you caught one of the previous shows, I
Hmm.
said Linux, all it was Goodman with a bunch of added stuff that it doesn't need.
Hmm. Oh
Like
yeah.
5 new wires, a couple ice cube
Yeah.
relays, maybe.
If
Yeah.
you don't color code, you shouldn't be a manufactured unit.
Yeah. I know some train units like from way back in the day that had 400,000 black wires inside of them that had
Yeah.
little tiny numbers on them that I couldn't see nary one of.
I know what you're talking about. You're talking about the that commercial rooftop that had the like DC and AC and all kinds of stuff. I can't remember.
Yeah,
It
that's
was like
exactly what I'm talking
Legacy. It
about.
was Legacy, or what was it? What was it called? I can't remember.
I don't know what they were called. I just
Uh,
came out there to try to fix those bad boys, but they had like, because most of the time I do residential, or I did
mhm.
residential, and
Yeah.
going up there, and all of a sudden I have to order a bunch of parts I never ordered in my life, some 460-volt fan motors, and a transformer. I think the transformer one was like a 460 to 208, and it was like the size of a football. I was like, well, that's new, that's neat.
Yeah.
Bunch of random stuff. I liked it, but it was a challenge too because I had to trace wires, and it was like an all-day affair trying to figure out where all that stuff went because I didn't have much experience with it, so I had to trace them all.
Well, that
Sucked.
was probably because it was China. I'm just
Well, they had to. Yeah, there was some China in there for sure, and it was bad. It was like a jungle of crap in there,
Got it.
but it was quiet up there, so I did enjoy that. No one was bothering me. No homeowners behind me on that job for
Oh
sure.
yeah, man. It is
So
nice to be alone and talk to yourself because that's what I normally do when I'm riding in the trucks, talking to myself.
I do. I tell you what, I like the silence, and it's whenever I was doing service every single day, I would
Mhm.
go out because I worked alone, and I would go out if there wasn't people at home because a lot of times it would be like a real estate person would call me to do an inspection for them or something like that, or I was up on the roof. I wouldn't be talking to anybody all day, and I'd get home and then people would talk to me. It's like I don't even remember how to speak because it's been quiet for 8 hours or longer, and
Mhm.
it's just I don't know. Do you like that, or would you rather
Being
have a
alone.
person behind you? Yeah,
Well, honestly, man, I have the opinion that not a lot of influence is good. I believe that a lot of people should be alone, and I believe that you can succeed more and be successful if you're more alone. I believe that, and honestly, I really want to say that all influence is bad influence, but I know I can't say that because just like not all texts are good, but
for sure.
there's a lot of them that are, but it just there's a lot of people in your life that are not going to be um I guess just the more people you got in your life, the more distraction and the more this world is filled with so much distraction. The great society,
Yeah,
the 9 to 5, the 5 day work week. You got holidays and church and kids, and you got so much stuff. And you just, and then you got your phone, you got technology now, and it's like you sat here and just boop, boop, boop,
Oh
boop.
yeah, it's like
We
I'm gonna
need to
watch
be
one of
alone.
Tad's videos right now.
Don't you
Yeah.
dare you put that down. So
I hate that. I hate that we have to have this because I really do believe the phone. Like I've said it in the past, it's a little bit of it's hyperbolic, but not. I said this is a conduit to the devil.
oh yeah,
It's
man.
basically all it is. But
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's just at the very basic parts of it, it's a big distraction because
Yeah.
we're so entrenched on living our lives out of reality in the phone.
Yeah.
It's like a whole
Convenience.
separate person inside of there.
Yeah.
That's tough. And being alone is good. I like being alone. I like it not
Mhm.
because necessarily I dislike other people, but just like I always functioned well alone, and I didn't
Yeah.
feel lonely. I was just alone. I just enjoyed it. I listened to music on my, on
Yeah.
my phone when it was time to have a phone. I would play music, but for a long time I didn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm old.
Focus, organizing what you learn, building that framework. The Great Society. Um, I had something I was going to say. I can't remember. Oh,
It
whatever.
was getting philosophical for a second. I was
It
like, where
was,
is he going to
man.
end up with this? I'm
It was
curious.
about to be amazing.
Don't lose it.
I'm
Circle
not
back.
going to lose. I lost it.
It's gone. Well, it'll
I'll
appear
get
later
it
in the
here and
show.
again. I'll get it here again. Oh yeah, okay, here it is. So the Great Society that everybody's joined themselves to on the rat race, chasing money, and no
Mhm.
longer having a lot of time with the family and growing their own food and having, the earth provides everything we need, but we just go to work and chase money. Um,
That's
it's
true.
taken. We've traded our lifestyle and our culture for convenience. And when you're in this industry, and now I'm fixing to go to another thing, it's like Tad, blah, blah, just gone. You know,
I'm curious what's going on, so I'm just gonna stick around. I have my own thoughts on this, but I
all
want to
right.
hear what you're gonna say.
All right, so we've traded lifestyle and culture for convenience, right? We can have everything we want, but and then with this industry, like it's no longer just a luxury. Like, I think of it as a luxury still, but to people and to society, it is emergency. You get a call for cooling when it's 50 degrees outside and it's 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night, and somebody's like, "Hey, I need you to come out," and I'm like, I'm not using my AC. I have my windows open. Why don't you take advantage of this? And no, they want the air. And so now it's looked at totally different. If I can have it, I want it. You know what I mean? That's the mindset. But go ahead, tell me what
Yeah,
you got.
it's almost like you have muscle memory, except for the convenience. Because if you have something 100 days in a row and then you don't have it, it's not the fact that you need it. It's the fact that all of a sudden it's gone and you must have it back immediately, even if you don't require it. Like you said, with opening a window, it'd feel great outside.
Oh
In
yeah.
fact, coming up is like, hey, let's open the windows. It feels great, but you can't appreciate it because you know that if it heats up a little bit, your AC's not there. I can't
Yeah.
take that. What if I have to, like you're saying, the world is built so if you so feel it, you could go off into the mountains and kill your food and live perfectly happy the rest of your life. But we choose not to do that.
Yep.
And to me, I think there's a big problem with that because the, I don't know, if the danger and the excitement of life that we forego to do this, I think is a necessity in your development as a human.
Yeah.
But I mean, we can't just go off and start, going off into the woods. So it's weird. I heard a quote. It's actually Joe Rogan. I was listening to Joe Rogan, and he was quoting somebody else. I don't remember who it is. Chat people probably do. They're very smart. They'll tell you.
Yeah.
The quote was, "Most men lead lives of quiet desperation." And that's exactly what I think about. You're stuck in something, but you desperately are working to get out of that to do something else, which never
Yeah.
happens for most people. So
Yeah.
that
You're
would be the
right.
concern.
And I can tell you the reason it doesn't happen for most people. It doesn't happen because opportunity, they don't realize, maybe they don't realize, or maybe they just don't. Yeah, they don't realize opportunity doesn't come to you. It doesn't come to you. It will never come to you. You know, it will never come. You have to go get it. And I've always been unsatisfied, and I've always wanted to learn more and to do more. And I've always done more. I've always tried to do more, regardless if I knew, because 90% of the time I never knew. I did not know how to do what I was doing. I learned it as I went. I made tons of mistakes. If you probably had a video of me trying, you'd probably be like, "This guy's what's happening?" You know, I call the police.
That's funny.
But I
That's true
mean,
though. But that
yeah,
would be so useful though to actually, if you could go onto YouTube, for example, and you could do a repair the way that you know how to, and people would actually interact with you, and you would learn something. Boy, that would be great. That
Oh
would be
yeah.
very exciting. It's like having all this experience pulled into one spot, but it's not that way. The
No.
way it is, they see it, and they want you to fail because
Mhm.
if you fail, they're in the rung above you still,
Mhm.
and you don't have this fear that you're going to lose your position in life or in job or whatever,
Yeah.
even though it's disconnected by actual distance most of the
Yep.
time. It's crazy, man.
But
This is
instead, we should
this is the
all want.
deepest show I've done in like a couple months. I'm gonna tell you
But
that.
in, but instead, well, that's awesome. But instead, it's only getting started. But instead, we should all want our friends to do cool shit. You know what I'm saying? We should
Yeah,
all want each other to succeed and do cool shit, and that's what I want. I don't want a bunch of underachievers around me. I want to feel. I want people around me that I feel like are doing a lot better than me. You know. So it's
most people
just
do
it.
not feel that way. They do not want that.
Well,
They
bro,
want to
we're
be the
in.
king of the castle.
Well, maybe so, but we're in the trade industry. I mean, if you've ever been in the construction industry, you're not around a group of positive people. You're not. And I
You're
mean,
right on that.
a lot of people get beat up. They get beat down. They get with the wrong employer. They get with the wrong employee. They get
Mhm.
with the wrong coworker. And then they either want to quit, they're burned out too quick, or they get treated like shit. And then it's
Yeah.
over. And it's sad because these people, if they only had a chance to be around me. I mean, Zach, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Well, you know what? That's funny that you mentioned that. I think about like the old technician, old
Hmm.
seasoned technician. The dynamic that we perceive is going to be that he's going to give the young guy a hard time until the young guy, earns his chops. But
Hmm.
what about the old technician that could possibly accept the young guy and accept the fact that he could learn something from him along the way? Is that even possible to do? I don't ever see that where you
That's
would accept that this
unacceptable.
20-year-old
That's
guy,
unacceptable.
the guy who plays Fortnite, can teach me
Yeah.
something. I don't think so.
You shut your mouth and stay over there.
That's
Can I
exactly
carry
right.
the tool bag?
I
No.
don't I don't care where the battle bus is at. No.
Yeah.
That's all my Fortnite knowledge right there. I'm all done.
You
Yeah,
don't
that's
play
an
video
interesting.
games.
Yeah, I don't play video games either. My sons play video games. I play actually. I don't want to lie. I did play Mega Man 2 the other day because we have like a Nintendo console.
Yeah.
But I probably play 1 hour of video games a year, something
Yeah.
like that, just because my kids bring it up.
That's
But
awesome.
I had a guest. Well, I had a guest periodically on the show. His name is Tersh,
Hmm.
and when he hires people, and based on this conversation we're having,
Hmm.
when he hires people, he says he hires them on personality and he
Hmm.
wants to see them develop into something greater. Like if these guys spend some time at his company and then they move on to create their own company, that's what he wants.
That's
Would you say
awesome.
that is what you would look for if you hired somebody and that was their path? You would be totally fine with that.
Oh yeah, I mean, and honestly, they're going to leave anyways unless they are. Well, most of them, everybody's wanting to start their own thing. Everybody's wanting to exceed. I mean, there's not many people that are wanting to stay at the same company unless they're wanting to be miserable. There are company men. There's people that stay at a company forever because
Mm.
they're treated correctly. Um, but I don't know with the business model now that most people have, man, people never stay. But I want people to develop. Absolutely. I'm always asking every single morning when I wake up and I come into the office, I'm always asking everybody, no matter what it is, hey, do you need anything? Hey, what do you need me? Do you need anything? What do you need? I'm asking everybody because, of course, yeah, I want to know. I want to know if you need anything because I'm here to help. And I like that. I like being here to help. I've always been here to help. No matter if I didn't have the time or I did have the time, I was going to where they were to help them and to get back to what I was doing. Because if they can't move, I mean, they depend on me. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I mean, I'm
Yeah.
that type of person, you know? So, and honestly, that guy that you're talking about, what's his name? Tersh, Turch,
It's
what's his
Tersh.
name? Tersh. so,
I write that
so,
down. Turd.
so I'm sorry. Tell him that's my name. All right. So Tersh, um, that guy, he probably realizes that the best, the way to have the most successful business is to have the best team because the team makes the business.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
I
I
think
did
that's
a
the
video
idea.
one day where I was talking about sales training, and I was talking about how it's not me that sells the job. It's when they call in and they get the secretary, Miss Sweet Angie, on the phone. It's from her to me to the install crew. They see them all day when they're doing the job. It's not just me selling the job. It's my team, man. That's what's so important. So Tersh, you got it, brother. Good job. Good
Rising tide
job.
lifts all boats. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, if the company impresses across the board, that's the best thing you could possibly have.
Hmm.
And you have to want good things for the people for them to impress across the board,
Yeah.
because they don't, in general, if you're not related, like father son, like I came up and you came up, if you're not related, then they don't have that investment in the company, and they're not going to be as fired up to do as much as you would.
Hmm.
But maximizing that would be the best, and having them on a route to be successful in whatever they want to do would
Hmm.
maximize that, I would think. So at
Absolutely.
the detriment of the company, if they leave, I mean, that's bad. But I
Hmm.
mean, at least you have an atmosphere that's conducive to another guy can rise up and take his
Yeah.
place, sort of thing.
Yeah, and if they decide to leave, like I had a technician leave, it's he spent 2 years here. He's a very honest person. We ate lunch like 2 weeks ago, and he talked about the whole entire time, which you're probably watching this, brother. Appreciate the conversation. He talked the whole entire time about he wished things were different and he wished he could come back. And I'm like, and I'm just like, man, I'm like, that's awesome. I just couldn't believe, but I could believe it because I had a technician who worked for us for about 7 years. I learned a lot from, and he's my brother, and he works at a factory now. Um, and he needed insurance at the time, and there was some sickness going on. But I mean, he was crying in the office the day he quit, and same thing for the
Wow.
one that ate lunch. He was crying, and everybody's sad at the company, everybody, except for maybe a couple of the crew members. But everybody is just sad because he's such a blessing to be around. And the one thing that I love for my people to be is honest. Because my dad told me one time, he said, uh, he said, if somebody will lie to you, they'll steal from you. And I don't like nothing more. I don't like a thief. And I'm like, I can respect
That's
that.
true.
Yeah.
Absolutely. If someone feels like they can get away with something, they'll do pretty much anything they want to do.
Hmm.
In some cases, I mean, that's some people. That's not everybody. Um, Here in this conversation,
Hmm.
what is your definition as far as your own life of success? What point do you say I'm successful? What defines that?
Hmm.
Take as long as you need.
Take as long as I need.
I can play. I can play some clips.
Well, no, no. I mean,
It's $1
honestly,
million,
what is
bro.
what is success? Success is just being able to serve. Success is being able to help others, because that's the only thing we can do. I mean, we really that's it. That's it. I mean, you can only help yourself so much, but there's so many people out there that need help. I would say that. I would say coming home and your kids wanting to see you, that's success.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because money is not success. Money is shit. When I went to the health food store the other day, I bought some food, and when I handed the money to the lady, and I had some change and some dollars, and I said, "Here's my paper and some metal. Thank you for what's going to help me with nutrition and help me with my life. Because it's just it doesn't help. But what you create, really creating, that's success. Creating, moving, that's success. You know. So.
See that from outside the box. Sounds like if you're describing money as paper and metal, you're looking at things from a distance, inwardly.
Mhm.
And I like that. I mean, that's the same way, you think about some of the stuff that we're doing. Like here, we're having this conversation here, which I think is a good conversation. And
Mhm.
here we are, just two guys sitting in different states from far away. It's like, hey, this is neat. I feel connected to everybody here, even the chat and everything. I feel like we're all in the same spot. Same thing. It's when I come home and the kids were happy to see me, I felt like that was successful. There's no amount of money that if I came home and my kids didn't want to talk to me would make me feel like I was successful. It
Mhm.
never would. Or my wife was angry at me for, choosing to work later, trying to get more money. I would never feel like I was successful. So
Yeah.
I'm with you there, man. And the stuff you're talking about is fleeting. It goes away. You don't keep it forever.
Yeah.
It's impossible to keep it forever. So
Yeah.
to me, you can't be successful and base it on that stuff. It's just
Yeah.
impossible.
Wisdom is success. There's a quote. It's not really a quote. It's a verse from the Bible in Proverbs. It says, "Better is a poor, wise child than a rich, foolish king."
I like that.
It's because it says the quiet is heard more. The wise man is heard more in quiet than a ruler crying among many fools. It just
Yeah.
um, so
No, I love this
yeah,
stuff. Proverbs is such a one-liners. They're
yeah,
great. They're
and
fantastic. And every single one I was like, oh, that is true. That's neat.
yeah. I'll give you another one. This one is let not man seek his own, but every man another's wealth. So let not man seek his own, but every man another's wealth. So it's nice.
Let it resonate. The
Let
guys
it
are like,
resonate, guys.
this is fellowship. I like that. I mean, fellowship is fine with me. Um, I like that. There's like a Bible verse in the show for later if I had time.
Oh, that's
What
awesome,
was it?
man.
I don't remember what it is now. Hold on a second. Hey, wait. It's actually on. Let's see. Let's see if it applies. It may not. Here you go. This was my Bible verse. It was Matthew 11. It was at that time Jesus prayed this prayer: "O Father, Lord of heaven and earth, thank you for hiding these things from those who think themselves wise and clever, and for revealing them to the childlike." And the reason why I put that up there is because I feel like guys who approach life like that, open and accepting, and
Hmm.
like you said, they're servants. You have to be open to being vulnerable, open to appearing like you're an idiot. Like, oh, I
Mm.
don't know how to do this. Oh, you don't know how to do it? No, I don't know how to do it. So if that's the
Yeah.
definition of an idiot, that is me. So how do you do it? Please
Yeah,
show me.
man.
So,
A foolish man says he knows everything. A wise man says he knows nothing.
man, I
And
like this.
I don't know anything really. That's the thing is I don't know anything. I don't. I really don't, man. I'm just every single day I'm getting up and I'm trying to learn, and that's it. So, and that's how I approach all the negative comments because people are like telling me this and this and this and that, and I'm
Oh
like,
yeah,
thank you so much for watching, you know. And I'll tell you this, guys, this will give you some power here. If anybody has a problem with what you do, anybody has a problem with you, it's not a problem with you. Okay, it's a problem with them. So if
that's
someone
true.
had a problem with me, I'd say it's a you problem. It's not a me problem, you know. Um, so yeah. All
That's
right.
absolutely right.
What else? We're gonna talk about HVAC tonight.
That's not
All right.
over
I'm
there in the
kidding.
chat. Amen. That's what the chat said. I'll bring up the chat
Amen.
alongside. You won't see it on your end, Tad, but I'm going to have it on the screen so people who watch later can see it. Let's see
Okay.
here. Forget about the haters. Yeah, that's a YouTuber.
They hate us because
And
they ain't us, Dave.
amen. Like it a lot. Good, good. Okay, guys, I'll leave the chat up on the screen for a minute. If you guys want to ask questions, the best thing to do is to type HVAC Shop Talk because it highlights it for me and I can see it, and then I can relay it to Tad or answer it myself, or we can both answer it, if so be. We'll see. But let's see, let's deviate for a second.
Okay.
Let's go to, we talked about mini splits. All right, you talked about sales. We had talked about sales previously, how, and you mentioned sales meetings, sales stylings, and but
Ooh, let's
people get the
dive
idea
in.
of what it is. You got like the, I don't remember the name of the company because I don't watch any of them. But like Weldon
Hmm.
Long comes in, he's going to tell you how to sell HVAC equipment. To sit down
Oh
with
my
Johnny and
goodness.
Joan homeowner at the table, and he'll proceed to do the psychic manipulation of them.
Oh yeah.
And
Let me get my laptop and oh, here's option number one. This is option number
that's
one,
it.
guys. Oh wait,
Good,
hold
better,
on a
best
second.
man.
Let me get to option number three.
Yeah.
Option
Well,
number 17. Here it is.
I
I'll tell you something good, brother. No, go ahead,
okay.
Zach.
No, no,
I'll
no.
tell you after.
Mine was not going to be good. I was just going to do filler until you said something better. So
Oh,
go ahead.
bro, listen. All right, so check this out. Had a company that worked in town, and one day I was passing by, and they were out at this house, and I actually know one of the employees. He's a good guy, got his own company now, doing great things. But there was a company in town, and they were some shysters. They were not doing good things, and this is what they were doing. The father and the son would go out. They'd pop the top on the unit, and they would immediately go, oh, and they would stand back and act like there was something that was there that
Oh my
magically
gosh.
hurt them. And what they would do is they would sell the customer what was supposed to be an air cleaner, right? And they did many other things, but this is one example. I go to this lady's house, and she said they called it a step up. That's what they called it, a step up. And it was just a 4-inch filter in a box, and they charged her $2,500 for it. They
Mm.
would do all kinds of different things like that, but that was their ploy. They would go out, they would flop the top. Oh my God, this indoor air quality, and just it's going to kill you, and just it's mold, bacteria, blah blah blah. But they
Oh
would
yeah.
play that game, and then they would sell units that were used to change out for $10,000, and the unit was used and it was 10 years old. But what they would do is they focus on older people. I went to a house one time. It was like a T701 style thermostat, 35, $50 maybe. They charged $400 to the 80-year-old woman.
Good
So,
grief.
and this is one of the reasons that we need good technicians. And I'll tell you one thing that's really great about doing lots of work, being so busy, doing like what, 7, 8, 10 calls a day, which is not, recommended forever. But when you do that and you own your own business, if you go to somebody's house, like a particular customer I know that's raising her grandkids because, parenting didn't work out, I guess, and the kids that she raised, can't raise her kids. So she's raising them and she's on a fixed income, and I go to her house and it's a trip breaker, or I mean, it's just the breaker's turned off,
Mhm.
and there's nothing wrong, and I tighten the wire, and I don't charge her because I don't have to, because it's my business. That's something you
Right.
can do. It's amazing, man.
It's
That's
not.
one
It's
of
a
the
good
things.
feeling. Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the things I like to do.
Yeah. I've been in that exact same situation. The breakers just shut off. I was like, oh, that's it. I mean, I just sometimes if I had to go, like I remember if I had to drive like 40 or 50 minutes to go somewhere, I said, hey, how about you just buy my lunch and we'll call it even. That's what I would say. I
There you
said, 20
go.
bucks, buy my lunch and it'll call it. I did that several times because it made me feel like, it really shouldn't charge them full price for
Yeah,
anything like that. I mean, it's just, it doesn't feel right to do it.
yeah.
Let me see. We got some questions,
All right,
perhaps.
all right, all right.
Let me see if that is in fact the case here. Oh, here we go. Great conversations. Jeff's HVAC Adventures. That's another YouTube channel that I've started watching, and
Oh, okay.
he's going to be on this show. I have a good feeling Jeff's going to be on this show. I think he knows that already. I've contacted him, but
Excellent.
I want to have him on there. Why does Tad have his video images flipped so much? Flipped?
I'll tell you
Is it the
why.
live streams that are flipped? Because
No,
that
no, no.
happens
He's
sometimes.
talking about my normal videos. So when I do a video, I do this. Every video, this is how I do it. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. And I can't do the video unflipped, because if I was to, I would switch it around and I'd have to hold it like this and I'd be covering the camera. So I can't. Now I got a
So
gimbal the other day, so maybe
yeah,
I'll be able to do better, but that's the reason. It's because I'm doing this. Hey guys, blah, 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 blah.
that's interesting. So you don't just make a bunch of clips and put them together.
No, I
You
do
just try to shoot
everything just one
everything.
shot. I
Oh
try to do
man,
everything one shot.
you like the movie 1917? All right,
Thanks, man.
that's good though, right? I mean, it's
It
won
is,
some
man.
award. I'm pretty
I
sure.
came to chew bubble gum and no, I'm just kidding.
I remember that one too. That was Roddy Piper, I think.
Mm.
Said that. Let's see. Anybody else here? I don't see any. No, I don't think so. Man, I thought it was a question. That was it though.
Nobody's got any
Well,
questions?
I thought there was something here. Hold on, give me just a second here. I'll draw
Is
out my
everybody enjoying the
words.
stream? Is everybody enjoying it? You guys happy? Are you healthy?
Everybody looks like they're enjoying the stream. Hey, I just see good stream, guys. That's written right there. I know I saw something about
Fist bump.
Samsung.
Oh no.
Is
I'm
that
just
bad?
kidding.
Do you
No,
assume it's
it's good.
bad?
It's good. It's good. I hope I have the answer.
Oh, he just says, this is Joshua says, we need to get to the meat and potatoes of Samsung, though. That's why he's here. So, Joshua, what about Samsung in general? Now, Samsung is your brand, so to speak, I guess.
Oh yeah, it is.
He's
So
mouthing
I
something
do.
negative.
No, I'm not. I was doing mouth sign language. I Samsung and York, and I sell a little bit American Standard. I've sold every brand almost. My goodness, I've sold Temp Star and I've sold American Standard. We sold American Standard first, and then they went with a Mexican part. It was a TXV, and I changed like 100 in 1 year. That was in 2010, I think. And so I quit doing that American Standard because of that.
What
But
was
actually,
it?
my distributor, it was a TXV on the
Bolt
indoor
on?
coil. No, it was a sweat on,
Oh,
and they
wow.
had
Okay.
over 100 of them that were bad, and I did
Mm.
that. York was even worse, but I'm still with York for some reason. They had we changed, and we still do some of them. We've done them 2 or 3 times, the same indoor coil in the same unit, but they had hundreds of indoor coils that we had to replace. Hundreds, not just like 100, a lot more. It was
Hundreds?
it was terrible. And if you worked on York in between 2012 and 2017, you changed hundreds of those coils. It was absolutely terrible. They had a recall. They sent out customers this information and how they could get like $400 back. And anyways,
Oh, gosh.
where are we at?
Well, here we have there's a compliment now lost. Oh, my HVAC life says HVAC Shop Talk, your best guest to date. That's very complimentary. Just keeps business
Whoa,
true and down to earth. Great guy. All right, that's very complimentary.
bro,
And
thank you.
Ryan says, ask Tad about the quality of York units now and Samsung products. Does he like York's inverter and variable speed products? So, do you like the new? Because we talked about that a little bit. It was HMH7. Was that right? So, do you like this? Let me see what it is right here.
So, all right, let's talk about it.
HMH7.
Let's talk about it. Who asked this question?
This was Ryan, I believe.
Ryan. Okay, so Ryan, the earlier Whisper series of Samsung had a few leaky indoor coils, and they've redesigned all of their models, and you commission them differently now, and they have the wind-free models, which is really cool. They're definitely the indoor coils are all different. The outdoor coils are all different. The inverter boards are different. The compressors are the same. So they've done a lot of innovation, and I like Samsung, and I like their tech support. I just like the fact that you can call in and you can get people that are super smart, and I could name several that are super smart. York's definitely changed a lot. Man, their package units were absolutely terrible, and I know there's some people that are not wanting me to say that, but when you have to
What, the
change
old ones?
yeah, well, no, not the older ones, but the ones in between, that were, like I said, with that date range, where you see, they used to make old ones where they didn't have the condenser coil on top now, like they do, like the carrier
Well,
style.
that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the ones that look the same for seemed like 30 years or something. They were like the same thing, and
Yeah,
they were sort of dependable.
yeah, they were, but the last, I don't know, man, it was probably like it's been a while, but there was a short run of just terrible problems with indoor coils. We had so many. I've got several videos changing indoor coils, but they didn't have their machine set correctly for brazing, and all of the indoor coils leaked, and it was terrible. Now they're redesigned. They have the carrier style, like the American Standard, with a spine fin condenser coil on top. Uh, no longer on the side. So yeah, they're a lot better now. But honestly, bro, you really want to know the truth? When
Yes.
I when, when I okay, so when I install a package unit 10 years ago, and it cost the customer $3,200 for a package unit, but now it costs them $6,500 for that same package unit, and it's the same parts, but all the coils on everything, not just coils for the condenser and the evap, the indoor and outdoor, but I'm talking about coils in the motors, coils in the contactors, the inducer motor, the metal that it's made out of, as far as the wheel, when it rusts out in less than 3 years, and I have to go
Mm-hmm.
out and replace another one, bro, that's not cool. I don't like
Yeah.
that. They started using LG compressors, which is perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. But for a while, they were using Bristol compressors. And I'm
Yeah.
sorry, but I don't like Bristol compressors. I haven't had good experience with them. They're loud. They look
Yep.
weird.
They're
Um,
loud for sure.
yeah, they're loud. And just, I don't understand why you would do certain things like not install an accumulator, not install a hard start kit if it's not gonna, if it's gonna be so loud and not have smooth startups, not install a fuse in line with the transformer. Are you what?
Mm-hmm.
What are you
Big
doing?
transformer sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and those are the ones I remember changing the compressors on the York units, and they were Bristol. But when I
Mhm.
got the new compressor,
It was
it
Copeland
would be it would be Danfoss for a
or
while.
Danfoss. Yeah.
Danfoss,
That
and I was
huge. It was
yeah. I
huge.
mean, yeah, it was very easy to get that thing up the ladder. Yeah, that was a
Yeah,
good day.
man.
I should not have done that. I felt the pressure that day,
Just get it
and
up and you just.
let's yeah, clunk. Oh, the oil. Oh no, how many ounces do you think
Ah,
that is?
that's okay. There's water in there.
Just pour the vacuum pump stuff in there. It's fine. It's the
Yeah.
same stuff. I don't know, man. Yeah. Well, we got to get this
So
thing started up. That's the idea. But yeah, I mean, I put in a few Yorks myself. They did fairly well. One of them ended up leaking. The evaporator ended up leaking.
mhm.
These are
Yeah.
2009 through 11, 12, somewhere in there.
Yeah. But when you install 300 or 400 units a year, and then you have 100, 200 coils that leak, bro, you're sitting there trying to
Mm.
do service, for new customers or existing customers, but all you're working on is the new equipment that you installed. So I went through a phase where even the head guy that was here for a while that I learned a lot from, that tech that we hired that had way more experience than me, 20 years, he's getting burned out. He's just like, dude, I'm so sick of this. Because what we're doing as a company, and I've showed you guys this on video with the latest Samsung coil that was adducted that started leaking, and this was the second time we replaced it. We didn't charge the customer anything. Why didn't we charge them anything? Because I sold them this equipment and they trusted me, and I want them to have confidence in the unit. That way they go with another one, but
Hmm.
it's so hard to keep that when you're charging somebody when you just installed the unit 5 years ago or 4 years ago.
That's tough. So many units though. You have like two or three service technicians. When you have like a string where they just pour on, where they're all starting to leak, how do you deal with that? Because that could be like, are you recharging a lot of units, buying yourself time? How did you deal with it?
So we don't believe in really, like, I'll charge, like, there's a 24-year-old unit the other day and I charged it up. Why? Because this guy's he's wanting this thing to last. So I'm all with it. Like, a pound, 2 pounds, cool, sounds great. I'm gonna get this guy 30 years with it, right? If he doesn't want to do the evap coil. But most of the time, especially when it's a new install, I'm not charging that equipment. And if I charge
Mhm.
it, I tell them this, and I did this last week, and it's not even my install, but it's brand new, right? I went and I said, I'll be back within a week. I charged it 2 pounds. I said, I'll be back within a week because they told me before they left, and this is a good example. They said, yeah, they've been charging that thing every year since we put it in. And I'm like, we don't do that here. We go, we find out what the issue
Mm.
is, we order the part, and we get it. And then we find out that it's a metal building and they put a screw in the line sets. No, I'm just kidding. But I we might.
That hey, dude, that's happened. I had one
Oh
just
yeah,
like
yeah,
that actually. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, years and years it ran. Oh, good grief! It was like I forget. It was a tan Goodman, so it was
Hmm.
before
That's the problem.
2005 or something. Yeah, I diagnosed it as a Goodman first and foremost, but
Oh
it had
man.
a nail through it from I forget if it was the siding or a shelf inside, but it had
Hmm.
sealed up pretty well, and it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
staying. Just need a
Mm.
little refrigerant every now and then. And finally, I had to
Hmm.
run a new suction line for
Hmm.
it. It was craziest thing, man. It could have been years that thing was leaking.
Yeah.
It's good hold, man. Maybe that's what Zoom lock fittings should be made out of. Old
Over the
nails.
Oh, dude, yeah. Oh, so over the years, I've had installs where we installed a package unit and the guys run a screw into the indoor coil. I've had them run a screw
Hmm.
into the outdoor coil in the very top. They've seen an extra hole and, oh, before we leave. So what do? I come out there, I zip it up, factory charge it, and get it back up and running.
Oh yeah, we've done that too. We've done
Yeah.
it during the install.
Yep. It happens,
Fantastic.
man.
What a great day. I remember
Yep.
that vividly. What did you just do?
You really have to be resilient in this industry. You really have to
Oh
be to where
man.
you never give up, man. I've been at houses at midnight trying to get a Samsung unit to work because I didn't know what I was doing, and I'm just sticking with it. And that's what's created, you know, the the character, and that's what will help you the most is struggling, adversity. Out of adversity, you build something great, man.
That's
So,
right. I just had a
yeah, man.
conversation with my son that went along those same lines about his work because today was the very first day he really had to work a man's work day. It was over 8 hours.
Yes.
So
Yes.
he was like, "Oh, this was hard, man." I said, "Well, you know what? The only way you get build character is by completing this crap, and it's not
Hmm.
just the first day. It's day in and day
Day
out and
out. Oh
day in,
yeah.
quiet desperation, set it up for the whole life.
Yeah,
But
man.
it is you got to get past it. I mean,
Yep,
it's
and have fun with it, man. Get to where you're so good, man. Everybody's
yeah,
coming to you for their answers, and you're the person. You have so much. That's what it's all about, though. When you become the person everybody goes to every single day, you realize that you have to wake up, and there's a reason. And really, another thing I want to talk about is purposing in your heart what you do. You got to purpose in your heart what you do. And I got that from Daniel chapter 1, man. That was one of the best stories for me to read about Daniel and how he purposed in his heart before Nebuchadnezzar in this kingdom. Upon certain death, he still purposed in his heart what he wanted to do. And because of that, he was blessed by God with great knowledge. So purpose in your heart what you do. That way you have the best reason and you keep fighting and you keep going towards what you need to go towards, you know?
I don't remember what the name of the king was,
Yeah.
and Daniel when they were escaping, and the king and his sons, and they end up killing his two sons and blinding the king on the walk to
Hmm.
Babylon, I guess.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, my son's first day wasn't that bad.
No,
That really puts it in perspective. It could
absolutely,
have been
man.
much worse. If he read the Bible, he would know that.
Yeah.
Uh,
We're
as I
blessed,
would,
man.
yeah,
We're blessed.
absolutely. There's a lot of knowledge there. There is a question here,
All right, let's
and
do it.
let me see what it is. HVAC Tech Wannabe, the best name. I like that. You took my name. How long is the line set acceptable before you start doing any kind of upgrades? Like long line set application? I think that's dictated by manufacturer. But,
That's
100
correct.
feet, 80 to 100 feet, it's where a lot of the unitary stuff I remember being. I think 80 feet, they start saying, you need your liquid line
Yeah.
solenoid and your sump heater and all your stuff like that.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
TXV,
So yeah, around the 100-foot mark is when you'll start doing different things with your liquid line and your suction line pipe size. But also, they've got new units that have this variable capacity and modulating. And what happens
mm-hmm,
then is your pipe length can go 200 feet, and it's
mm-hmm,
unbelievable. I can't believe it. But the HMH7, and it may not be 200 feet, but when I looked at the installation manual and I looked at the maximum pipe length, I was like, what? It's just
yeah,
unbelievable, man. So with technology, things are changing. So make sure manufacturers read the installation manual. If you
that's
don't,
right.
then I'm
Because
sorry.
they're different. They're different. There's variations. There's different things they say to do. I mean, some I like. They're talking about hard shut off TXV. Some might say to put the TXV on. Some say it's the heater and the stupid solenoid valve or whatever, and all that stuff. You might have. I might have to do that for Goodman stuff. That's what the Goodman
Yeah.
manual said. That's the bottom. So
Yeah.
there's probably more
Commercial
stuff.
equipment, you have liquid line solenoids inside with the evap coil. You got to wire
Hmm.
that in to where when the unit kicks on, pating, it opens it up.
Right on. That's
So,
exactly right. So it's good to read the manual because you're going to learn something. Manual. We've done it a few times on this show. We'll like open up one of the manuals, just read it, and try to make fun with it because manuals are boring. It's just a bunch of black and white letters. But when
mhm.
you look inside, you try to imagine how you can improve, like just knowing what to do in those situations. And you wonder why there's problems afterwards if you don't know. It's like, well, this thing is really having a problem. It's making some weird noises when it shuts down,
Yeah.
and the compressor does not sound good, man. How did you do your
Yeah.
long lines and stuff? Come again now. It's like, no, that's
Yeah.
not good. That's not good. Oh, well, man, we got. What time are we doing here? What we got?
It better be 7:30, man.
We've been rocking. Yeah, we've been rocking and rolling. It's almost 10 o'clock. Oh, we've been
Are you
trucking.
serious?
Yeah. Oh man, I don't know if we're gonna be playing Skill Trade. Was anyone gonna play Skill Trade Up tonight? Put it in the chat. I'll go ahead and
Oh,
put it
it's
out
10
there.
o'clock where you are. It's only 8:51 where I am.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I
Oh,
still
I
got
forgot
time
about
to
that.
party, Zach.
There's plenty of time to party. Even at 10, there's time to party. I'm gonna go to sleep though. I'm just kidding. Well, maybe not. Let me see. I'm gonna see if we had anything down here. We talked about the Samsungs. We talked about the Yorks, and we didn't talk about like your extracurricular stuff. Why don't you talk about that? Like the surgical slush machines. See, some of these guys probably don't even know what we're talking about. So why don't? Oh yeah, Weaver wants to play. Okay, well this will be our last thing then. We'll talk about surgical
All right.
slush. So lead the
Yeah.
way. What are you talking about? What is it?
Okay, so I was approached by a good friend now that I know that moved here from Washington, and there's only three companies in the U.S. that make these machines for hospitals, and I've got four now. Well, actually six, but I've got four that I built for Vanderbilt Hospital, and they use them in the OR. And what they do is they create surgical slush to pack the body with or to put an organ in a bag inside of it to keep it from being damaged. So it helps tissues and organs from being damaged during surgery. So the one machine, I think they do like 2,000 heart surgeries with it a year now. But had no idea how to build one of these machines, but because I know refrigeration, which I don't know it, I'm not the genius. I'm just trying. Because I've been doing this so long. I mean, I can build my own air conditioner if I wanted to. I built my own little heat pump chiller when I did my aquaponics
Oh,
system.
that's right.
Um, so I just love building things and putting things together and seeing what I can do. But this was super lucrative. I actually was approached. There was a deadline. He brought me four of these chassis, and I souped this thing up with these motors that went up and down into the bowl and created this machine from scratch, and it makes ice in 30 minutes, and it makes a huge, big bowl of ice. And, that was just a great opportunity. And I do it now. I'm probably going to go meet Monday, and we're going to talk about a couple possible projects that are coming in. And what happens is all across the country now, they send these machines to me. I take and refurbish them, or I build brand new ones and then I sell them. And I do it for, we do it for like half the cost. Normally they're $80,000, but we do it for about 50,000.
Wow. That's neat.
Yeah. So, hey, can I talk about one more thing though?
Yeah.
One thing real quick, and then I'll let you. So
no, show's over. Yeah.
Oh,
go
man.
ahead.
So one thing I just want to tell everybody, if you're watching, is that I have a bunch of courses, because I don't want you guys to go spend thousands of dollars trying to get training when I have it all and it's $20. Geothermal training. I teach you how to use a heat fusion tool. I teach you how to weld polyethylene, polybutylene pipe. I teach you how to use a flush cart. I've got duct sizing, equipment pricing, DIY ductwork, how to do your own ductwork or do a duct system, airflow and CFM BTU per hour checks, balance point training, heat pumps, a balance point, how to fill out a balance point chart, how to figure out what the balance point is. I've got tons of sales training. These are all like $20. You can see all these videos. And I just want you to know about them, because this can fast track somebody's career, especially somebody that doesn't know anything. So just want to say that real quick, but continue on, brother.
Is this you talking about like your membership on your channel?
Members only playlist. That's right. I got like 40. And if you actually do it, then I've got aquaponics videos on there as well, like how to build a system, how to cycle a system. Just all kinds of fish tank stocking densities, just fertilizer, how to grow cannabis, yield per square foot, all these kinds of things, man.
That's pretty cool. I like that. Okay, so it's just like if you remember on this channel, you just click the little join button to become a member. Yeah. All right, that's easy enough. I like that. And by the way, go ahead and click the one on this channel too.
Click the one on this channel, guys.
Click them all, man. Click them all. Click Dave. Dave's got one too now.
Dave, click Dave's.
Yeah, that's NorCal, everybody. I'm talking about NorCal. And his wife is all laid up in bed now she got a new knee. But
oh, wow.
So Dave's out of it for a couple of weeks. So go click his button. He needs it. He needs the support. So, all right, man. Well, this was fun. We're definitely going to do this again.
Is it over?
Yeah, because we're going to play some skilled trade up here in a minute. You can hang around if you want to, but yeah. Just smash all that stuff. We'll buy new stuff next time. Or just mug a 14-year-old girl and steal all her ring lights. Something like that. Yes. I don't know. It's easy. You get multicolored ones. But so, do you know what the skilled trade up is?
No, sir.
Okay, you're welcome to stay, but you'll have to go off the screen when the contestant comes on. But yeah, you're more than welcome to stick around. You can be a lifeline too.
Oh, okay.
You want to be a lifeline?
I just want to participate, Zach.
Okay, well then you're going to be a lifeline. There'll be one lifeline per go round, and we'll probably do one tonight.
I don't even know what that is. What is that? What's a lifeline?
Okay. All right, let me explain.
Playing Jeopardy? What is it?
It's similar to Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. That's what it is.
Oh, dude, yeah, I bet.
So it's called skilled trade up, because I'll ask a question, and then if the person gets it right, they win a prize. And if they want to risk it, they have to risk their prize to go to the next one, because they're increasingly better as it goes up. So you could end up with nothing, or you could just stop. No one will stop. No one has the fortitude to say, you know what, this is as smart as I am. I'm going to stop now. Everybody's like, let's keep going, which is fun. Awesome. So that's good. But before I play that, I had this whole long video about the tubing bender, but it's like 10 minutes long, and it's late.
well, I'm fixing to go, but hey, I want to say this. Thank you.
Are you going to go? Are you not going to be the lifeline?
Yeah. I really do need to go. I just wanted to just keep you hanging on. But thank you. I want to say thank you so much for what you do, man, for helping people, for making it fun, for creating a culture and a community to where people know that there's other people out here and we can all learn from each other. So thank you.
It's a ton of, I appreciate that. I'm glad you came on the air. You're definitely going to be back. I can see us having multiple conversations just based on the stuff that we talked about tonight. So we'll be talking very soon, maybe 4 to 6 weeks from now. So maybe come back.
I'd love it. I'd love it.
We'll have some fun. All right. Well, I'll let you get down to your business, whatever that might be, and party like it's 1999. Although you're probably like 10 then, so probably wouldn't have partied any.
Bro, I was 10.
Hey, see, there you go. All right, that's incredibly fast math. But thank you, Tad. I appreciate you being on the show. That's Taddy's Digest, and I'm gonna let you go, man. I'm gonna hit the button. You ready?
See you
It
guys.
goes 3, 2, 1, and Tad goes by. All right. Thanks, Tad. I appreciate it, man. I'll contact you soon for the next round. I had a lot of fun. We got along famously, is how I'm going to say it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to play that video. If you want to stick around till afterwards, we'll play a game of Skill Trade Up. I'll put the link in the chat during the video, and if you want to play, click it. If no one wants to play, we're tired or whatever, we'll just play next time. No big deal. So I'm going to play that video, guys, and I will see you guys on the flip side. Yellow Jacket is one of the most trusted names for HVAC tools, but they have a lot of new stuff that's just hit the market. A brand new combustion analyzer, the CA502, is a 3-in-1 instrument, ambient CO monitor, manometer, and analyzer. They also have the Turbo recovery machine. It's A2L compatible, guys, so you don't have to worry about that. It utilizes a powerful twin-cylinder oilless compressor and a 1 1/4 horsepower brushless DC motor, and it comes from Yellow Jacket, so you know you can trust it. EWC Controls, they're known for zoning products, and the heart of a zoning system is the control panel. The UZC zone controller is the tip-top height of this market. It can control 4 stages of heat, 2 stages of cool, has automatic changeover, and what's more, it controls up to 22 zones. This is the Mac Daddy, as my generation said, of zone panels. You can find out more at EWCcontrols.com. This is the Doyle Premium Ratcheting Tubing Bender set. Goes from 1/4 inch to 7/8. I just picked this up at Harbor Freight. I asked you guys what you wanted me to talk about on the show as far as tools. I have a particular niche of tools that I like from Harbor Freight, and they came out with this tubing bender. It seemed like a perfect topic for discussion. This is the first time that I'm opening the bender up. Doyle, nice little sticker on the front. Decent case. This is a case. This isn't Pelican or anything like that. This is nice though. It's nice that it has a case. Part number 58674. Genuine quality. You know what? Harbor Freight always has a great way of picking very American sounding names for their tools. They don't even hide it at all. From Chicago to Bauer, Hercules, although Hercules was a god, and well, you know, at least for Chicago and Pittsburgh. First impressions, very CPS-like, has the multicolored dies. We have, they are metal, color-coded, very lightweight, and see it's hollow here and here, all the way down to 1/4. Although if you're doing 1/4, I think you'd be much better off with a 3-in-1 tubing bender like the one I'm going to picture on the screen here. We have the reverse bending attachments. As you see, we have our 3/4, and you see you turn these and you use this same side for 1/4 inch, 5/16, and 3/8 inch, 7/8 inch, and 1/2 inch and 5/8 of an inch. We put our piece on here, screw it in. There's nothing written on the outside of these. Size is actually stamped here on the inside, 7/8. We'd adjust these around to 7/8 and then tighten up like so. There we are. Interesting. It's hard to get the die off. Starts pulling it, and maybe there's a better way to do that. Maybe I should read the instructions. But there's no other levers on this thing, so I feel like no instructions are necessary. Here, this is either 1/2 inch or 5/8. I do believe I'm dealing with 5/8 right here. Looks like I am. I'm gonna operate as if I am. All right, there's a 5/8 die. We're gonna turn it to where it says 1/2 inch or 5/8. There we are. Let's see. Let's see how it does. That's as far as it goes. And it does come out. There's a slight bit of rippling on the inside. Sometimes some of the benders tend to ripple it a little bit. That's not exactly 90 degrees. So again, I'll make sure I'm doing everything right here, because maybe I've got an issue. Maybe I need to slide this thing down. And that's, yeah, I see what I'm doing wrong here. Even before I read the instructions, these things slide. Interesting. That's what I was missing there. So we can set it on 5/8 because we want that 90 degree. Oops. Live and learn. Read the instruction first, bruh. But I have it set up, I think, properly. We'll try this now. I want to show you guys right here. That's our 90 degree mark. Let's see if I'm one click away here. So it hits right on the mark. That is definitely more like a 90. We still have that rippling on the inside, but definitely more like a 90 right there. So that's a comparison between this one and the first one. You can see that there's a significant difference. That's why some of the other benders have 2 bars. One for the smaller sizes, one for the larger sizes. I have some 3/4 copper right here. We'll set everything up for 3/4. I'm gonna loosen these bad boys up. And I'm gonna slide them over to 3/4 town. There we go, tighten it down. I was wondering, rotate it around to 3/4. Do the same thing on the other side. Slide it on down, tighten it up, rotate it over to 3/4. Take this die out. I think we should be green with the 3/4, and we are. We're gonna go green, guys. Good one, Zach. All right, let's see if we get to that 90 degree mark again. I don't think most folks will be doing this with one hand, so I can tell you that much. Takes some muscle, more muscle than I recall the others using. Of course, I might have got weaker in my old age. That looks like a pretty good 90 degree. A little bit of rippling, maybe not as bad as the 5/8. Maybe about the same. You guys can be the judge. Let's try out the reverse bending mandrel now. We'll see how this sucker goes on. See if I can do it just from memory. So this part is gonna go right here. Don't look at the instructions, Zach, that's cheating. That makes you a sissy. All right, so we'll have this attachment here, a reverse of the other one. Of course, this comes in real handy if you're in a limited space. We can leave it on 3/4. We'll put the die in here. And there is a little detent right there that slides on that locks your die into place, which is nice. Because if y'all remember, some of the old ones, like the Yellow Jacket plastic one, not the newest one, but the one before, they would always come off and stick on instead of staying mounted in position. So this is what it looks like when you have the reverse bending mandrel in place. And it's nice that this set at $129 includes reverse bending mandrel. That's exceptional. That's really good. Some of the sets, they cost up to like $70 or $80 more for buying the reverse bending mandrel. So that's a nice deal. So if you had like a line running there, you could slide it over like this. Get your reverse bending mandrel in position. Make sure we have our 3/4. You always want to make sure you have these, I'll call them feet, these feet sitting in place. Sometimes your copper gets bent and you might have to bend it back into a straight line a little bit, because it'll actually come off of these either way and cause a mishap. We don't want that. We don't want any mishaps out there in the field, guys. All right, so let's try this again, except with the reverse bender. We'll try with one arm. I don't think I can do this with one arm. It's a pain. Looks like I'm about to get it. Let's see here. One more to 90. Oh, I got it. That's a workout right there. As you guys can see, I actually did get it into the 90 degree position. Now let's see if it's actually 90 degrees. It does look like 90 degrees, or maybe a little bit shy of 90 degrees even. Still has the same ripple. Does look a little bit more pronounced than on the previous bends, so be wary of that. That is kind of significant right there. That's a, yeah. For inquiring minds, the length with the reverse bending mandrel is right at 16 inches long. The width, which is going to be the width on this particular arm, is 8 inches. That might grow old after a while. Setting it up just like you would for a normal bend. The width is still going to be 8 inches, but it'll be shorter at about just shy of 13 inches. The weight is 3 pounds, 10.1 ounces, and the reverse bending mandrel is going to add just about a pound, 4 pounds, 8.2 ounces, and that'll vary slightly depending on which die you have in there. I have a very common 3/4 in there. So in my personal opinion, I think it's a good value at $130, but isn't quite as smooth and easy to work with as some of our more familiar brands. As you can see, whenever something gets mounted here, whether it be one of the dies or the reverse bending mandrel, it gets kind of lodged on there and you have to tap it off with a hammer. Not the end of the world, but it's going to get kind of old after a while. You do have to adjust these instead of having a second arm, which is kind of good and bad at the same time. Got to remember to adjust these, and you also don't have to have that second arm. So overall, I think if you were getting into the trade without seeing extended reliability out of this thing, meaning this is just the first time out of the box, I don't know if on day 4 it would have broken half, but it seems like it's built solid enough, and it seems like a good value, especially as the first bender to get you started. There's definitely more smooth options out there. Like if I was in the field still, own my own company doing service calls every day, I may just spend a few more dollars and get Yellow Jacket or Hillmore or CPS, something like that, instead of one of these. The fact that it comes with the reverse bending mandrel at $130 is outstanding. And that's so outstanding, it almost makes you want to just get this one because of the value of it. It's just a matter of how many times it's going to get lodged. You got to tap it with the hammer. It's a matter of how annoying it can be over time. That's basically what it is. And it may be not bad at all. Who knows? There is a 90-day warranty on this particular device, which isn't great at all. And maybe that's why you're saving a little bit of money, like buying a Bauer tool instead of a Hercules. Bauer tools have a 90-day warranty. You have to buy a warranty. So I don't know if there's a warranty you can buy for this. There probably is, but I don't know, guys. It's up to you. What do you think? Put it in the comments. If you're doing a live chat right now, put it in the live chat. If you're doing comments on a video after the live stream, would you buy it? Would you not buy it? And I'll see you on the next one. Alrighty then. Okay, we're back here, and let's see who we got down there. Hey, somebody's coming back to avenge the burnout. Let's see. Here we go. Let's see. Let me see if I can get my cursor over there. Where'd the cursor go? I don't know. This is like an old person trying to find their way up stairwell. We have Jay Trammell back. Jay Trammell, how's it going, man?
It's good. I'm trying to figure out if I can use my headphones.
Well, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, I can hear you. All right, cool.
We're going to do this time. This time, you're taking home prizes, all right?
All right.
All right, so because it's so late, we're just going to get after it. You played last time, so you know what to do. All right, so first prize, you can go for this sweet parts holder that's magnetic. So it's not just a bowl. I mean, you can put soup in it, but you can also put parts in it. So, all right, let's tension up the music here, and let's get our first question for our parts holder. Here we are. Hold on, your wife's going to come outside and start asking you questions about stuff. When are you going to take the garbage out? Not now, you know? And the dogs start barking too. Uh-oh. Here we go. Which motor brand is fake? A, U.S. Motors. B, Century. C, Sesame Street. D, Broad Ocean.
Let's see, Sesame Street.
C, Sesame Street. Is that your final answer?
Yes.
It ought to be. I mean, Oh, yeah! Absolutely, you're right. Sesame Street no longer makes motors because they never did. So you got yourself a parts dish right there.
All right.
All right, now that we're getting to the juicier stuff, I'm going to edit out the chat here. Oh, I'm going to brain fart again about how I could edit out chat. Oh, there we are. So I'm turning off the chat so the chat can't, blab answers and stuff like that because they'd be wrong anyway. So I'm doing you a favor.
Probably.
And yeah, absolutely. They would be wrong. All right. So the next question there, and chat can come back because you do have one lifeline to use. You can ask the chat a question or you can do the 50-50. 50-50 is just I'll take out 2 of the answers.
Gotcha.
And you'll choose between, the other 2. So thus the 50-50. And you're playing now. If you want to trade up, you can trade up for these. It's actually pretty nice. Pliers wrench from Icon. Would you like to trade up?
Yeah, let's trade up.
Absolutely. As I recall, people love to trade up. All right. So going for the pliers wrench. Our next question is slightly harder in difficulty. Will he get it right? Let's see. The question is, the Comfort Link 2 XL850 is A or an media filter, thermostat, ionizer, or condenser?
That's a thermostat. B.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
That's absolutely right. It is a train, or the French would say Tronier thermostat. So you do have the Icon pliers, which, like I said, these things are sweet. Their tools are pretty decent.
I've got the Nipex.
It looks a lot like them.
Those. They do. They probably don't work quite as well.
Probably not. Nipex is pretty, or Knipex is pretty good.
Right.
So if you already have Nipex, I don't even know what to say.
I don't know why they pronounce it like that.
I don't know either. It doesn't make any sense logically. But if you do already have them, then you can obviously trade up for this tool bag, which is like one high vis. It's got the little lines on it you can see if you decide to walk on the highway.
That's a little bit nicer than the what was it? Makita bag.
The Makita bag is definitely an upgrade. This week I was like, I can't just bring out a Makita bag that's been sitting in the corner for a year. I gotta actually go
it looks
buy
like
a prize.
It's been sitting in the corner for like 5 years.
Yeah, it came with a drill, and I never use those bags. So why should anyone else want it? Is the question.
I could probably I could put it to use for sure.
If you win this bag and keep it, I'll put the Makita bag inside of it. So how would you like to trade up? I should say that.
Yes.
All right. If you like to trade up, then let's trade up. Let's go in for the third question, which is going to increase in difficulty just slightly, just a little. Here it is. How many 6-inch circular ducts equals the volume of a 12-inch circular duct? 2, 3, 4, or 5? Remember, you have your lifeline if math is not your strong point.
Flex or metal?
Just imagine smooth metal circular ducts.
Okay. 6-inch circular ducts.
Say pi times 4, 7 now.
Yeah, I mean, it's.
Hey, if you're unsure, you can always ask the chat guys. There's a bunch of math majors out there. Let me tell you.
Yeah, it's Let's do the pick 2 or whatever, C or D.
All right, it's either gonna be 3 or 4.
No. C or D, 4 or 5.
Oh no, you can't pick which one. You said pick 2 because last time there was a pick 2.
Oh. Okay.
Interesting.
Okay.
Well, you know what? I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you because you know what? There was one last time, and I want you to win this bag, and it's my show, so whatever.
Right.
And you pick C and D, and the answer is... It's C, 4. So once you add it up...
I would have said 5.
What's A? Perfect. You
Because,
got the lifelines for a reason.
Yeah.
5. Yeah, it's tough because you got to go through all the math.
I mean,
sitting there.
it's a really it depends on a lot of things. So.
Yeah, doing the circular calculations, and then of course everyone makes their ductwork slightly different as well.
Yeah. And
then flex is
length
different.
of runs. I mean, it can be a lot of different things.
The important thing is you got the bag right here.
The bag. Yeah.
You won the bag, and the question is history now. We won't remember it tomorrow.
Right.
But the bag goes forever. Unless you're like, I really want a tubing bender.
I will take the Doyle tubing bender because my yellow jacket stopped. It like when I'm doing 7/8 or 3/4, it starts slipping on now.
Is it the plastic one?
Yeah, the one in the plastic box. I've got the yellow box one, but I gave it to one of the other guys to use, and so he's got it. But the old one in the yellow metal box, the REMS model, it still works fine, and it went through a truck fire. I mean,
oh my gosh,
yeah, my whole truck burnt to the ground, and it's still.
Oh, good grief!
Even the plastic mandrels and everything.
Everything melted.
The mandrels didn't even melt somehow.
Well, that's a miracle, actually. That's
really
something else. Well, and this has all led you to this point where you could replace it for free just by answering a question right. You said you want it. All right. So we're going to go for it. And this is the fourth question, which is an increased difficulty. So you tell me. You have no lifelines, so it's either I know it or I'm going to guess my butt off. Here we are.
Yes, sir.
The refrigerant with the highest GWP in this group is A, R32, B, R22, C, CO2, or D, R410A?
It's going to be B, R22.
Is that your final answer?
That is my final answer.
I'll be daggone. Believe it or not, these
32.
government people, it's 410A. 410A is higher.
GWP.
It's higher than R22, which is weird because they switched.
See, I went too quick again.
You know what? You played twice, though. I'm send me, because I think I asked you this last time. Email me your address. I'll send you something.
I think I did email you.
If you emailed me, I did not get that. So do that again.
Okay.
Or you know what? Yeah, email is probably the best. Maybe it was spammed or something. Yeah, do it again, and I'll check the spam folder just in case, because I didn't see it because I looked for it. And I'll send you something. It won't be the Makita bag either. You know, I won't do that to you unless I put something inside of it.
All right.
But all right, man, keep playing, and you're gonna win the big one. I appreciate it.
All right, brother.
Thanks, man.
Have a good one.
Later.
Bye.
All right, guys. You know what? That's our show for tonight. It's late. Anyone waiting? I know there's people waiting to play Skilled Trade Up. Please come back next time. I'll be back next Saturday night, unless there's some kind of thing that happens that gets in the way of that. I hope not, though. I had a great time. Tad, big thanks to Tad. He was an awesome guest tonight. I really enjoyed talking to him. It was a lot of fun, and I'm going to get out of here. So thank you, everybody. I should turn the chat on, but you know what? The chat is not going to come back on probably by the end of the show. Maybe for just a minute or two, guys. If you want to chat for a second, I'll turn it back on. Here we go. All right, the chat should be back on in just a moment. Thank you so much, everybody. If you enjoyed the show, please put a like on the stream. If you would like to support the channel, hit the join button and become a member. That really helps us as far as me buying prizes for stuff and for me buying just electricity for my home. It really helps out as well. Or this cool chair. See what I mean? There's a problem here. We need the memberships. Thank you, everybody. It means a lot to me that y'all came and watched. And I'm going to get out of here. I'll see you guys on the next one.